Warning: the content in this video may not be suitable for all audiences. Viewer discretion is advised.
Greetings world. We are Anonymous. We would like to draw your attention to a very important matter, which must also serve as a warning. A warning to all who are watching right now, especially those of you with young children. Please pay close attention to the following. This life-saving message goes out to you. Anonymous is sending this emergency message out on all social media pages, groups, and websites in order to draw immediate attention to an online suicide game called Blue Whale. Anonymous condemns this so-called game and many and all like it. 130 suicides in children occurred in Russia from November 2015 to April 2016. Almost all of them were members of the same group on the internet. This is where Anonymous takes notice and demands action be taken. Teens and pre-teens, mainly young girls, between 12 and 16 years of age, are first targeted, then systematically brainwashed through manipulation, all at the hands of the game's curators. This form of control could last for weeks, months, or even years before the psyche of the child is broken and ready to attempt the final act. This suicide group back then called itself F57. This group was only in its infancy at the time, but had already claimed so many victims. This group would encourage young and already depressed teens to literally go over the edge, taking their own lives shortly after playing suicide games similar to the most recent Blue Whale suicide game. Unfortunately, this game and others like it are well sought out in Russia and have now spread to many parts of the world such as Venezuela in South America, Kenya in Africa, and copycats of the game are now popping up all across Europe. This so-called game is like a virus, killing our most precious resource, our children. Not to mention, this group has become very popular among social media suicide groups on VK.com. VK.com is a Russian social media website, similar to Facebook. Some videos and pictures posted depict self-mutilation and disturbing images of self-harm. These videos and photos are then liked by others in the group. The higher the likes, the more popular the group becomes, and the more gruesome and disturbing the videos and pictures get. Ultimately, a final upload of the team is posted just before they commit suicide. The game's administrators or curator find players through death groups, or suicide groups, set up on VK.com. Police in Russia have shut down several of these groups in recent years, but say, as soon as one is shut down, another starts up, and this has driven the groups underground. Once you've been accepted by an administrator, you are given your first of 50 daily challenges. These can be anything from simple tasks, like listening to a certain song, watching unsettling videos, and waking up at odd times, to much more extreme requests like cutting words or whale symbols into your skin. The first challenge usually comes at 4:20 a.m. Every time you accomplish a task, you must provide photographic or video proof of completion to the admin. The Blue Whale game has a strict set of rules, which you cannot back out of, and if you try to leave the game before completion, the victims are told they will be tracked down and harmed, forcing the victim to play to the end. Anonymous will now go through the list of 50 steps, translated into English. We would also like to ask any parents watching right now to check for signs of these 50 things happening to your child and take action to stop them immediately. 1. Carve with the razor, F57, on your hand, send a photo to the curator. 2. Wake up at 4:20 a.m. and watch psychedelic and scary videos that the curator sends you. 3. Cut your arm with a razor along your veins, but not too deep. Only 3 cuts, then send a photo to the curator. 4. Draw a whale on a sheet of paper, send a photo to the curator. 5. If you are ready to become a whale, carve yes on your leg. If not, cut yourself many times, punish yourself. 6. Text with a cipher. 7. Carve F40 on your hand, send a photo to curator. 8. Type, I am a whale, in your VK.com status. 9. You have to overcome your fear. 10. Wake up at 4:20 a.m. and go to a roof, the higher the better. 11. Carve a whale on your hand with a razor, send a photo to curator. 12. Watch psychedelic and horror videos all day. 13. Listen to music that the curator sends you. 14. Cut your lip. 15. Poke your hand with a needle many times. 16. Do something painful to yourself, make yourself sick. 17. Go to the highest roof you can find, stand on the edge for some time. 18. Go to a bridge, stand on the edge. 19. Climb up a crane, or at least try to do it. 20. The curator checks if you are trustworthy. 21. Have a talk with a whale, either with another player like you, or with a curator on Skype. 22. Go to a roof and sit on the edge with your legs dangling. 23. Another task with a cipher. 24. Secret task. 25. Have a meeting with a whale. 26. The curator tells you the date of your death and you have to accept it. 27. Wake up at 4:20 a.m. and go to the rails. Visit any railroad that you can find. 28. Don't talk to anyone all day. 29. Make a vow that you're a whale. 30 to 49. Every day you wake up at 4:20 a.m., watch horror videos, listen to music that they send you, make one cut on your body per day, talk to a whale. 50. Jump off a high building. Take your life. At the end of 2015, a 17-year-old Russian girl named Rina Palenkova posted this selfie online moments before jumping in front of an oncoming train. The train driver saw Rina and desperately tried to stop the train, but he couldn't, and Rina was killed by the impact. As well as posting the haunting photos, the teen also left a message on her social media accounts, simply saying, "Goodbye." Since her suicide, several online communities and death groups, including Sea of Whales, have been sharing Rina's photos and claiming that she was part of their internet suicide groups, but her death has not been officially linked to any specific online group. However, a more sinister double suicide early in 2017 has been linked directly to Blue Whale. Yulia Konstantinova, 15, and Nika Volkova, 16, took their lives together by jumping from a 14-story building. Shortly before her death, Yulia posted a photo of a blue whale on Instagram and changed her VK status to end. Nika also left a similar message on her VK profile, which read, "Sense is lost," followed by, "end." Blue Whale and similar games have been linked to at least 80 of 130 recent teen suicides by Russian media. Blue Whale has been found to have directly caused a rise in teens taking their own lives. So-called death groups that promote these suicide games are real, and are a big problem, especially in Russia. These groups encourage children to commit suicide by convincing them that they are fat, or losers, and are nothing but human waste. However, they go on to tell them that there is another world waiting for them, and there they will now be among the chosen ones. In November 2016, a 21-year-old administrator of a VK group was arrested and charged with persuading teens to commit suicide. Philip Budkin, who went by the name Philip the Fox online, is believed to be at least partially responsible for the deaths of around 15 minors. Philip Budkin is being held on charges of inciting at least 16 schoolgirls to kill themselves. A man who invented the suicide game has admitted inciting at least 16 schoolgirls to kill themselves by taking part, according to authorities. Philip Budkin is behind the sick social media crazed Blue Whale, which is aimed at children. Police fear versions of the game are spreading to Britain, France, and other parts of Europe and North America, with a few reports of teens in South America and Africa beginning to play the game. The Russian says his victims are biological waste, and believes he is cleansing society. Budkin has reportedly been inundated with love letters from teenage girls addressed to him at a Russian jail where he is remanded in custody. The 21-year-old, who has now confessed to the crimes, according to state investigators, told law enforcement interrogators his victims were happy to die. They say they cannot ban Budkin, also known by the name Philip Liss, from receiving and replying to teenage girls who supply their addresses. In a chilling interview he said, "There are people, and there is biological waste. Those who do not represent any value for society. Who cause or will cause only harm to society. I was cleaning our society of such people. It started in 2013 when I created F57 online community. I'd been thinking through this idea for 5 years. It was necessary to distinguish normal people from biological waste. The lethal game called Blue Whale involves an administrator brainwashing vulnerable teenagers over a period of 50 days. It involves urging them to complete tasks including waking at strange hours. Eventually exhausted and confused, they are told to commit suicide, and it is feared in Russia that dozens have done so at the bidding of Budkin or other mentors. In Britain, a school in Essex had made parents aware of the game following talks with police. Police forces in Britain are now urging parents to monitor their child's social media accounts for these type of games. Angelina Davidova, aged only 12, fell to her death from the 14th floor of an apartment block. Russian prison authorities say they have received dozens of love letters from teenage girls for the suspect at notorious Kresty Jail in St. Petersburg, which they passed on to him since he was held in November pending a trial. Some estimates say hundreds of Russian teenagers, the vast majority female, have died after becoming fixated with these online death groups. One disturbing video purports to show one Russian girl jumping to her death. In another chilling interview in St. Petersburg, Budkin was asked if he really pushed teenagers to their deaths. "Yes," he said, "I truly was doing that. They were dying happy. I was giving them what they didn't have in real life. Warmth, understanding, connections." He denied reports that there have been as many as 130 teenagers. There were 17 of them, he said, but also claimed another 28 were ready to take their lives. There were also those with whom I was simply communicating, who committed suicide later, but without my direct influence. The game begins. You need to do tasks, tell about yourself, communicate, he said. Then I Skype with the person, put her in trance, and learn some things from their lives, after which I make my decision. At some point it is necessary to push the teenager not to sleep at night. In this way their psyche becomes more susceptible to influence, some sort of trend. There were a lot of imitators, which annoys me. He admitted to setting up social media with depressive content that puts an individual in the right mood, before children are admitted to private communities online where everything is happening. Budkin is being held on charges of inciting at least 16 schoolgirls to kill themselves. Anonymous is monitoring the situation closely and will update the public on any further developments. Anonymous urges you to share this video and get the word out about this life-threatening game. Share this video on all social media platforms. Not one more child should have to die. We all have a responsibility to protect our children from evil, both online and in the real world. We of Anonymous thank you for your anticipated support during this operation and in sharing this important message. They have now gained the attention of Anonymous. Anonymous will track those attempting to set up these types of suicide groups. They cannot hide. Anonymous will never rest. We are many. Operation Blue Whale. Engaged. We are Anonymous. We are Legion. We do not forgive. We do not forget. To all suicide groups found around the world. Expect us.